Hey friends, we are working on Chapter 8, Lesson 8 of the 2013 Adobe Illustrator CC Classroom in a book, and this is working with layers, and this shouldn't be too difficult because you've seen my videos and I've been working with quite a few layers. It's just my preference of arranging and working with things. So we're looking on I have end and start opened. So the end is where we're working with layers, kind of creating this image inside a television. So we're going to open up start. And first, actually, let's go back to end. We're going to look at the layers panel. And it's these two like paper pages on top of each other. And we have them named, which is familiar. Press on this triangle and opens them up. You have paths, groupings, backgrounds. You can rename things within each other. And it helps keep things organized. For example, we have one for TV body, which is just the TV body. You can hide it. You can play around and work with it later. We have one for the side panel and whatnot. So this helps keep things organized. So we're going to save the start file as tv.ai. And save and click OK. So the first thing, we're on page 250. And if we look at our layers, we just have one, and it says layers panel, and there's some stuff underneath. But that's what we're working with. So what we're going to do is rename layer 1 to side panel. The next thing is we're going to create a new layer 1. And it should be right here underneath. If it's not, you need to go to our drop down more and go to options. Sorry, no. It should be there, but you could also go to new layer from right there too. And it actually will pull up the layer options. So we're going to name layer 2 TV body. And you can have a color to it. It kind of helps keeps things organized with it. So you can see we have the colors right there. And there's some extra settings that we're going to get into later. And the next, we're going to alt-click or option-click the Create a New Layer button right here at the bottom, and it's going to pull up that layer button. And it's going to be called Screen. We used a modifier key for that. Everything, just matching it up, and OK. Next, we're going to create a sublayer, which is a layer underneath nested in the layer. It's kind of like when you have folders within folders within folders in your computer. So we're going to open up side panel just once, and we have all this stuff here. And next to it, we have create a sublayer. And so you have create a new layer, create a sublayer. And we're going to click it. And we have it there, and we're just going to double click it here and name it knobs. And now we've made some layers and sublayers. So we're going to select and move objects and layers. We're on page 251. So we're going to make sure side panel is nice and open. We have all these different layers and objects here. And if they're not there, you can click this little triangle to expand it out. So in our art, and you can even drag it bigger. Or we can even pull it out. So you'll notice when you have lots of layers, you're going to be doing this. So using our selection tool, keyboard shortcut V, we're going to click on the smaller knob on the right side of the television. So it's going to be this guy right here. You know it's going to have a bounding box that's blue, and that blue matches this panel here. This is where your colors kind of make sense together. And there's a little box here that says the indicated selected art. So if I have a bunch of stuff and I can't figure out what I'm selected on, I could look for the little blue box, and then this little tiny one tells us it's within that layer. So we're going to click and drag this path panel up to knobs. So you're just going to click and drag, and kind of when it's on top, and there's that little kind of gray bounding, you're just going to place it there. So if I open up knobs, it's going to be right there. So we're going to just deselect, and we're going to click the top group object in the side panel layer. So there's one here and here. We're going to click the top one. We're going to press and hold the shift key and click the one underneath so they're both selected, like so, and drag either the highlighted rows and just drop them into the knob sublayer. So you notice we didn't quite do it because it's not within under knobs. So we need to try that again. There it is. It is all nested next to each other. And I know that because I'm able to open up knobs and I see the stuff here, and I can even hide my visibility there too. So the next, we're on page 253, is we're going to duplicate layer content. So we're going to drag, and we're going to use the edit, copy, and paste commands too that we're kind of familiar with. So we're going to drag the left edge of the layers panel a little wider. These little arrows, if you pull it, make it nice and wide. So we're going to click the path in the knob. So we're going to open up knobs and click the path key here. And we're going to press the Alt or Option key and drag the object until a line appears just above the current path object. So holding that Alt or Option, clicking on path, and notice my cursor has a little hand and a plus, and I just paste it there. And that's kind of a way to copy things without going to edit, copy, and edit, paste in front. It's a good way to copy things with using the Alt and Option. Think of it as when you have an object within your frame, you hold an Alt and Option and drag it to the left or right, and it makes a copy as you drag. That's the same sort of premise here. So we're going to just deselect. And with the selection tool selected, we're going to click the small knob in the artwork again. And we're going to actually double click the selection tool, and it's going to open up a move dialog box. And it's kind of giving me those little arrows. And we're going to open up the move. So with the selection tool selected, click to select the small knob in the artwork again. Double click the selection tool and the move dialog box. So we're going to actually double click it in the tools panel. And we're going to change the horizontal position to 0.8 inches. Do a preview, click over, and it looks good. And I'll press OK. And we'll deselect. So the next is removing layers. So we're going to move this screen artwork to the screen layer. So this right here, we're going to move it. So the side panel is just the things on the side. So we're going to select the shape here, and we notice it's this one right here where it's selected. And that's kind of the indicator on what layer artworks, how we can find things. So we're going to drag the selected art indicator, the blue box, from the right side of the panel up to the name to the target icon in the screen layer. And this little dot is the target icon. So we're going to click here, drag it up to TV bottle. See that that little circle has changed to a fill? We dragged it there. It didn't actually quite work. So it's supposed to change it over to screen, but it's not doing that. There we go. So what I did is I just dragged the box over, not the circle. And it kind of actually starts pulling things up top. So I'll just do a Command Z and maybe just take part of the outline. So we'll take this one here, drag it up to screen. So now we're going to drag the path sublayer to the top of the body layer. So basically we're just going, anything that's within the that makes up the TV, it's supposed to go up to TV body. So this is actually supposed to be TV body. These two definitely are TV body. And you can just kind of click and drag over. I'm actually going to go back to the original just so I could see what's located. So this path and shadow and highlight are definitely screen. So this is screen. Yeah. And that's kind of where it's located. And we're going to drag side panel up over. Now it actually went underneath in screen, so I'm going to do a Command Z. Make sure side panel is its own up there. And now it's kind of rearranging. That's the screen, that's the TV body, and side panel is up top. So let's do a Command S to save our progress. And the next we're going to lock layers. Now you've noticed some, when you open artwork, some layers are already locked. So what we're going to do is lock them. So we're going to select the icon on the right of screen, and we're going to lock it. And if you which actually it has an old, so right here you just click screen, and that means we can't move it, we can't mess with the artwork. or anything. It is locked. We're going to repeat with TV body, and that means it is also locked. So we can't make any adjustments. And then we're going to do it to the path artwork in the side panel. So it's actually going to be this guy, we're going to lock that too. So the only thing that isn't locked is actually these knobs. So with the selection tool selected, we're going to click and drag around the top two knobs. And now with everything locked, I can do these selections without accidentally grabbing the layers underneath. That means that I can see it, I can view it. It's kind of like when you go to select hide. This isn't hiding it, but this means I can't adjust it. So it's really good to kind of work on things without accidentally modifying them. Kind of like when you lock your guides as well. So once we have both of these selected, we're going to Object, Transform, Scale. And we're going to change it to 120% under Uniform. And notice it kind of increased in size. We're going to click OK. In the Layers pane, we're going to lock the icons in the next to the path screen in TV icon, and they are. We're actually going to unlock some things. So we're going to hit a Command S, and that's going to be the end of this first video.